Hey everybody, welcome to Crack Pack Tuesday, number 63 on the Mana League. I'm John as always, and we've got ourselves another pack of Shadows over Innistrad. We have, I think, 1 week left, maybe 2 weeks before we're going to be into Eldritch Moon spoilers, but we're going to open this pack of Shadows, see what's in it, and see what we would take pack one, pick one if this was a draft. Up first, we've got ourselves a Deny Existence. Deny Existence, 2 and a blue for an instant counter target creature spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it in the player's graveyard. Yeah, totally fine counter spell. Creature counters are usually pretty decent, especially if they cost a little bit less. This one, unfortunately, doesn't cost less at 3 mana. At least it's a single blue, I suppose. I play these a little bit more than I probably should, but I certainly never, ever first pick them. Up next, what's better than 1 blue card? How about 2? Stormrider Spirit, 4 and a blue for a creature spirit. Flash, flying, 3/3. We've talked about this a lot, how it's not Nephalia Seakite, which was good and almost first pickable. This I will play in a blue deck if I'm going a little bit late game, but it's just expensive and blue's not a great color anyways, so I would never actually first pick it. What's better than 2 blue cards? Well, how about 3 blue cards in a row? Pieces of the puzzle. 2 and a blue for a sorcery. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Put up to 2 instant and/or sorcery cards from among them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. This just never really gets there. You need to be a massively creature-light Rise from the Tides deck to consider playing this. And if you're not that, you should never touch this. And you should certainly never first pick it, hoping that you end up in that deck, because you're gonna be sad. All right, not a blue card. Stallion of Ashmo, 3 and a black for a creature, Nightmare Horse, 3/3. It's got Delirium. If you have Delirium, you can pay 1 and a black to give it +1/+1 until end of turn. Yeah, this is a fine card. I'll include it in a number of black decks, and sometimes as a 23rd card, even if I'm not a Delirium deck, but it's not an exciting card, and definitely not a first pick. Up next, we've got an Explosive Apparatus. We are 5 cards in, and we've seen 2 colors. 1 mana for an artifact. Pay 3, tap it, sack it to deal 2 damage to target creature or player. Very slow, very low power, or very low impact, and very high mana cost for what you get. Not worth it. Maybe if you desperately need to get Delirium and you somehow didn't manage to get any other consistent way you could go for this, but not really advised, and certainly not a first pick. Up next, we have Tormenting Voice. Tormenting Voice is 1 and a red for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast Tormenting Voice, discard a card. Draw 2 cards. This is fine. It's decent card advantage, and of course, if you're in red, you're going to have access to Madness cards, and you're going to get even more advantage out of this. I'll play the first one if I have reasons, namely Fiery Temper or some vampires or something like that. If I don't have a reason like that, this gets the cut pretty liberally, usually. Up next, we have a Clip Wings. Clip Wings, 1 and a green for an instant. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with flying. This does not target, so if your opponent has an Avacyn and a 1/1 Spirit, the 1/1 Spirit's going to die, so don't get too excited about that. This is 100% a sideboard card, and even then it's not great. Certainly never a first pick. Up next, we've got a Rotten Heart Ghoul. 3 and a black for a creature zombie. When Rotten Heart Ghoul dies, target player discards a card, and it's a 2/4. Not very exciting. I've seen people play this because they have a Diregraph Colossus or something that wants zombies. I've seen people play this to really poorly enable madness for themselves by targeting themselves with the effect. Just not very good. Doesn't really do what you want it to do. Generally avoid this. It's a 23rd card if you have to, but certainly not a first pick. This is a first pick, though, and we still haven't seen a green card. Or a white card. Murderous Compulsion, 1 and a black for a sorcery. Destroy target tapped creature. Madness, 1 and a black. So you can pay the same cost, but at instant speed if you manage to discard this somehow. This is decent removal. It's nowhere near Fiery Temper or Sinister Concoction or many of the pieces of removal in this set, because it is sorcery speed by default, and it requires the creature to be tapped, which means you probably have to have been hit with it already. But it's still fine, and it's still first pickable, because that's how removal works these days. Yeah, Murderous Compulsion, I will always play the first one. Yeah, basically always. And I would first pick it if the pack was not too great on the top end. Starting to get into the top end, in the uncommons, we have an Olivia's Bloodsworn, 1 and a black for a creature vampire soldier, 2/1 flyer that can't block, and for a red mana, target vampire gains haste until end of turn. So for 1 red black, this is a 2/1 haste, and then from then on, any other vampires you play can be hasty if you tack on a red mana. Totally fine card, and I would and have first picked it. It's not amazing, but it is very solid in the deck that it wants to be in, namely Black-Red Vampires Madness. It's very aggressive, and it can just kill your opponent very, very quickly, especially if you get down a Masquerade or put any sort of enchantment on this. Totally fine card, and definitely a first pick contender. Next up, we still have not seen... No, we saw 1 green card, but we still haven't seen a white card in this pack, and we have an uncommon, a rare, and a flip left. So there's that. Dissension in the ranks. 3 red for an instant. Uncommon. Target blocking creature fights another target blocking creature. Absolute garbage. This card is garbage. The number of times that you can actually cast this is incredibly low, and the times where it would actually help you or do anything impactful are even lower. Dissension in the ranks, just a horrid card. It is 100% unpickable and 100% unplayable. Don't ever pick or play this card. It is horrible. Last uncommon is just a dual land. The blue-red one comes into play untapped. If you're in blue-red and you really, want some fixing, or you're in blue or you're in red and you need the other color, sure, but you're never going to first pick it. Our rare is Falconwrath Gorger, which I'm pretty sure we had a couple weeks ago. Single red mana for a Vampire Berserker, 2/1. All your vampires have Madness, where Madness is their CMC. As I said a couple weeks ago, this has really been unexciting. It just hasn't gotten there for me. It just hasn't done what it needs to do. Generally, the good vampires already have Madness. It's not exciting to Madness out a Stromkirk Mentor for 4. That doesn't really help you out. Falconwrath Gorger, arguably I would just play it as a 2/1 for red, and I would never first pick it, I don't think. The pack would have to be miserable for me to actually first pick it. We only get 1 flip card, but it's a Kessig Forgemaster, meaning that this pack had absolutely 0 white cards. I don't think I've ever seen that before. So strange. Absolutely 0 white cards. Anyways, Kessig Forgemaster, 1 and a red for a creature, human, shaman, werewolf. It's a 2/1. If it blocks or becomes blocked, it deals a damage to that creature before combat damage, which is fantastic. And of course, if it flips to the vampire side, it's a 3/2, and it's got 2 thumbs because Emrakul reasons. Whenever Flameheart Werewolf blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, Flameheart Werewolf deals 2 damage to that creature before the combat damage step. All technically in declare blocker step. This is a super solid vampire. I'm always happy to play one of these. That effect makes this bigger than it should be. It makes the 2/1 side technically kind of a 3/1. It makes the 3/2 side kind of a 5/2. Just a super great creature. It attacks well. It blocks well. Love me a Kessig Forgemaster. So we're looking at Forgemaster, Bloodsworn, or Murderous Compulsion. I think Bloodsworn gets the cut because you need to be black-red for it to really be taken advantage of. And so it's kind of a gold card, which you generally don't want to first pick. So we're looking at Murderous Compulsion or Kessig Forgemaster, and I think I actually would take the Forgemaster over the Compulsion. The Forgemaster is a creature, it's nice and aggressive. The Compulsion, as I said, is a little bit slow, and it requires some setup to do for it to be really good removal. I think I would prefer Forgemaster over slightly less than great removal. It's not bad. It's not even mediocre. It's just slightly less than great. But I am going to go with the Kessig Forgemaster. Let me know what you would have taken. Would you have taken the Forgemaster, the Compulsion, the Bloodsworn, the Gorger, or something else? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know with that poll in the top right-hand corner. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at The Mana Leak. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card, as well as Facebook.com/TheManaLeak and Twitch.tv/TheManaLeak. You've already found me here on YouTube. You've got that comment section down below as well. If you enjoy my videos, click that little thumbs up icon, click that subscribe button if you haven't already to keep up to date on all the latest videos as they pop up. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see y'all next time.